Hey guys, so today I wanted to do my 2-week postpartum baby update. It is been about 2 weeks and a day since I've had my little boy Jackson. If you have not seen my labor and delivery video, I will leave that video down below. I basically will share with you guys the birth story of him and to kind of put on some makeup and multitask while I'm doing that. But in this video I just kind of want to share with you guys what's been going on, kind of what I've been feeling, things like that. So starting with the first week, I will say point blank, we had a hard time figuring out how to latch because he was so little. He was about 5 pounds 4 ounces. He was a preemie baby. He had a hard time latching on to me and just feeding in general. So as soon as we had him, we tried to feed, and I had like 3 different lactation consultants come to make sure that we were going to get a good feeding schedule going for us, and that really didn't work. They then introduced me to a pump where I was able to hand express and pump some colostrum out of my breasts and be able to feed him. I was feeding him with a syringe for the most part in the beginning, like at the hospital. We were just constantly like filling up syringes and trying to feed him that way, and it worked, but it wasn't something we could sustain after. So we almost had to stay an extra night at the hospital just due to him not feeding properly, I guess is the word, and they just wanted to make sure and watch. So like I said, I had 3 different lactation consultants come watch me breastfeed, kind of give tips and tricks, things like that. And luckily we were able to leave on Thursday night late, around like 9-10 p.m. and go home, but it was definitely an experience. He would just get so frustrated trying to latch on, and he would scream and cry, and it was just a very tough time for me and my husband at the hospital. But since then it has been getting better, and we now have I have a pumping schedule that I do, as well as try and feed him during the day, but at night we kind of have different shifts, and I do pump into a bottle for him, and then it's just faster for him at night, so he gets less frustrated. But that's kind of what's been going on with breastfeeding. If you guys want another video, I have a whole bunch of different things that I learned from the lactation consultants and different products and things that I've been using personally for me. So let me know down below if you guys are interested in like more information on my breastfeeding story. But what we also noticed is he would cluster feed. So the first week, during the week, he would pretty much sleep all day. So we took him home Thursday, and they said pretty much every 2 hours try and feed him. So that's what we were doing. Then on Saturday, she said, we went to our pediatrician for the first time, and she was like, you're doing well. He was able to get back to his birth weight, which was awesome. And they said every 4 hours or just feed on demand. So that's pretty much what we did. So the first couple days we just kind of let him sleep when he wanted to sleep and eat when he wanted to eat. And that kind of wasn't the best thing for us because he would sleep the whole day, and then at night he would just cluster feed and be ravenous and angry and just really want a lot of food at one time. So since then, I kind of, when I pump every like 4 hours or so, I try and wake him up, at least do a diaper change or something to see if he is hungry, and then give him a little bit of like a top off kind of thing, versus him just being starving throughout the day, and I mean starving, eat a ton, and then full throughout the day kind of thing. So I'm trying to have a better schedule for him. I will say I did have the first couple days one of those late night pump spills. But basically what that means is when you're pumping and then you take it off and you just spill it all over yourself, and that happened one of those beginning nights at home, and I was so upset, and I had extra milk and stuff, but that first time it happens, you're just really upset. So yeah, I spilled milk all over myself. It happens. It's happened twice so far, but you know, late nights, things happen. His APGAR score, if you guys don't know that, what that means is basically how they rank or judge your baby when they are born. But his APGAR score was good, but he did have some jaundice they were worried about. So we did go back to the pediatrician, and everything was fine with that. We do give him vitamin D drops as well as breast milk though to help supplement that. The healing process. So for me personally, healing wasn't too bad. The first day or two I was having some bleeding, things like that, and the contractions were horrible. They were like, they were worse than labor contractions in my mind. So labor contractions, you have epidural and all that kind of stuff, but the contractions when your uterus is coming down was so painful. Every time I would breastfeed, I would have like the worst contractions ever. They were able to give me like 60 milligrams of ibuprofen Motrin for it, and I have slowly weaned myself off. I think it's been about 2-3 days since I've taken that medication, but man, those contractions were horrible. That is something they do not tell you during labor and after labor, is those contractions of your uterus coming down. It just is so painful. I had like a good almost a week of like no bleeding, and then all of a sudden I'm now bleeding again, and then no bleeding. So it just kind of goes off and on for bleeding for me. It's not like consistent or anything. It's not really heavy. It's just kind of off and on. It's just weird. I will say this past 2 weeks I could not have done it without the help of my parents and my in-laws and my husband, and especially my mom. It's just really good to have help around the house, doing just different chores, helping with Copper, my dog, and my cat. They're very needy animals, and just kind of like watching and making sure I'm not going insane and all upset. So I think I've definitely been handling postpartum a lot better than I would have thought, because I do have all the support and help around me whenever I need it. So it's been really great. We even had our like first official date the other day. My mom watched Jackson, and we were able to go like to the Cheesecake Factory, walk around the mall, and just kind of have a good couple time with me and my husband, and just step back, look away. And yes, I did look at videos and pictures of Jackson while I was out. You just can't help it. But yeah, it was nice to have a little date for the two of us, and we couldn't have done that without my mom, so I appreciate that. So another kind of struggle for the first week was getting the hang of putting Jackson in the car seat. So since he's so small, it's so tight, and like his arms, when you're trying to get it through the holes, just like is so uncomfortable, and he screams, and it's just a mess. But slowly we're getting more and more of a hang of it. We still need to figure out how to loosen the straps. We have the book, and like the ladies at the hospital did like a car seat test, which they do on preemie babies or any small babies, to make sure like their neck doesn't roll forward and that they can be in a car seat for over an hour. He did pass that exam at the hospital, but they like tightened it and did all that stuff for the car seat, so we knew it was good for him. But now that he's gaining weight, I'm pretty sure he's like 6 pounds, maybe 7 now. I haven't weighed him exactly yet, but since then, like, we probably need to loosen it up a little bit, so we need to figure that out real soon. But yeah, the car seat struggles were not fun. We have taken Jackson on 2 walks around our neighborhood, which was really good. The first walk was kind of hard for me physically, but the second one I was better, and we brought Copper, and it was just kind of a good little family outing. I'll do a picture or something over here. Like I said, I have my notes here. He gained pretty much all his weight back in 3 days, and he only lost 6% of his body weight, which was awesome. At this point too, I've noticed that the cries really mean something, and I learned that from our pediatrician as well. It's either he's hungry, he has a dirty diaper, he needs to burp. I think that's it. Yeah, hungry, dirty diaper, or needs to burp. Slowly though, this week we've been noticing that he cries when he's kind of getting tired, more uncomfortable. He's kind of been fighting sleep more and needs like a boob in his mouth or a pinky in his mouth. So today I did give him his first pacifier. I know a lot of y'all are gonna like get all mad or whatever, but you know, that's what we decided to do. He just needed something to help self-soothe. Really, he was just like sucking onto the nipple and not really feeding. He just needed something in his mouth to fall asleep, so that's why we decided to do that. But yeah, so for the most part he has been pretty good, only upset when he needs something from us, so crossing our fingers it stays that way. The biggest thing for me and my husband though is remembering to eat and drink. We had a hard time kind of remembering to eat. I would have snacks and stuff around my nursing area, but then sometimes I forget to refill it, or the water won't be full, things like that. So I need to remember to eat and drink. I will say, for the breastfeeding, I have not noticed any cracked or dry or anything nipples. I haven't used lanolin, I haven't used any kind of nipple cream. What I learned is best is when you're done breastfeeding to use your breast milk and just kind of rub the area around your nipple, and that way you kind of heal yourself. Breast milk is good for healing. So that's what I've been doing. I have been using now disposable nursing pads, I guess that's what they're called. The little breast pads that you put in your bras. I've had to do that so I don't leak through my bras, but yeah, no cracked nipples. How is Copper and Todd doing with Jackson? So when we first came home, they were very sweet and wanted to check him out in the car seat. Copper was very, very needy. He wanted to play with everybody who was coming and going, and he was just being very needy, and they were getting very upset, I would say. Copper, back in the day when I would work like full-time and spend like over 8-9 hours at work, he would constantly lick a hot spot on his leg, and so much so he got like an infection from it. So we started licking that spot again like a couple days after bringing Jackson home. But once me and Isaac were able to get plenty of sleep, we played with him more, we chased him around, we threw the toy, and he's been doing a lot better. It's so funny because they both now look into the bassinet whenever he's crying, or go check him out whenever he's crying. We do shut the door and lock Todd, our cat, out of the bedroom when we're sleeping, but for the most part, Copper is allowed in, and they can kind of be around the baby during the day while we're awake. So since he was a preemie, a majority of our clothes and stuff were for size 0 to 3 and had some newborn stuff. So we did a massive haul and massive shopping spree at Amazon, as well as like my husband went to Carter's and Target and just pretty much bought as much preemie stuff as he could. Luckily we can kind of still use the newborn diapers and just kind of fold it down a little bit for him and make it extra tight. So newborn diapers were good for us. We did have a package of preemie Huggies, which worked for a good bit, but we used those all up. But yeah, it was a massive, massive shopping spree. We needed a whole bunch of things, more than we thought we would need, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do when you have a 5-pound baby. I will say the most important app that I've used, I kind of have used a bunch of different apps this past 2 weeks. The most important one is Baby Connect. That's where I can track the feedings, nursing, bottles, pumping, sleep time, all of that kind of stuff, and it just kind of helps me and my husband kind of stay track on what has been happening with Jackson. You can literally track what boob, left or right boob, and time it that way. Just a very informative, helpful app. It is $5, but you can sync it with someone else. So my husband paid $5, I paid $5, and we're able to use it and kind of sync with each other's phones. So it's been really helpful. If you want more information, let me know down below. I would be happy to do a video on that. Babies R Us, a fail. So I was registered at Babies R Us. I think I mentioned this in my 36 weeks. And they are now going out of business. Since my due date was March 15th, they would not give me my rewards money until May 15th, but they're stopping at April 14th or something like that. I don't know, they're going out of business. All in all, I have $66 that Babies R Us stole from me from my rewards, and I won't be able to use it, and I'm not purchasing from them. Bye bye Baby, Target, and Amazon all the way. Don't waste your time, even though they're pretty much closed anyway. Okay, so this past week, I have definitely been getting more and more comfortable breastfeeding. I will say now I can have 2 hands free when I have my boppy pillow, or I have 1 hand free, and that has been a lifesaver. Before I felt like I had to do like hold his head with one and then the boob with the other, but now I've kind of gotten more used to it. We do have trouble off and on with latching still, but we're definitely getting more comfortable with it. While we're at the hospital, they had a newborn exam. His thyroid came up on the borderline, so we had to take him back to our pediatrician to have his thyroid tested again. They said it would be a week for us to know the information. We haven't heard anything back yet, so cross your fingers, everything is good. I know me personally, I am borderline for my thyroid as well, so I'm just hoping that he is okay. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And other than that, I have a Lullabye like Disney playlist that I have been using a lot with him to just help soothe him at night to go to sleep. It's like 6 hours of Disney lullabies. I will link the video down below. It's from YouTube. It's been a lifesaver. Really enjoyed that. And then other than that is his first Easter, and pretty much slept, but we got a couple cute outfits and pictures with him. Had his like first little Easter basket, so it's been fun. But yeah, that's kind of the 2-week update for me and Jackson. I'll show you kind of what the belly looks like. I've lost about 20 pounds. I think I gained a total of 44 pounds this pregnancy. Right now I'm about 161, and I was 144 before I was pregnant. So I'll show you guys the bump with the shirt on. So that is the tummy. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more videos, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye!